All right, so staying in the NFL, hey, our favorite football team per se finally got their name together, the Commanders, which I can't wait to see what that mascot looked like. But it seems to be a little problem with that name. It seems like we got a little hiccup, and every time we talking about watch this, always a hiccup. Whether it's naming the team, whether it's the policy, the workplace policy, whether it's respecting women, or maybe it's just Dan Snyder himself. So with that said, Jay, the latest football team now known as the Commanders, they got their name as lackluster as it sounds to me. What say you with this whole situation with Dan Snyder and the NFL and permission this and nobody can do anything with this? What to make of this mess, man? What is this?
Well, it's the Washington, whatever they're calling themselves this week, thing. So I was just thinking as you were setting it up, putting the ball on the tee for me. I just trying to figure a way how we get rid of Daniel Snyder. Just can we please just let's send him away because we talked about rotten ownership, what we believe is rotten ownership in Miami with Stephen Ross. Um, the Daniel Snyder is just, he's going to have that crown until someone takes it from him
Right.
because they are just horrible in every sense of the word. And it's just, we continuously say this, like Washington, the thing about it, they hired the right head coach in Ron Rivera. But we said like up front, man, Ron Rivera must have taken that job because he wanted a little bit more power
Right.
because now he's the coach and he does personnel. Because you looking back, you talking about whether it's you know whether it's Chicago, whether it's the New York Giants. We felt there was opportunities better that he could have had. Now he likely wouldn't have had the personnel pull that he had, but still, like it's a give and take thing. Like because this appears, and Ron Rivera, like he won a division last year. It was a god awful division. So you had him rolling there 8-8 or whatever it was. So, but it's just you just feel like in order to achieve
Yo,
the
okay.
success that he had.
When you say you talking about 2 years ago, right? Because the Eagles won the division this year, this last past year.
Yes, I'm talking about last year
Okay, okay.
when last year when Heineke and Tom Brady was out there doing it. Like, oh, they tried. Yeah, they
Oh
did.
yeah, okay.
So yeah. But overall, I'm saying like this is gonna be an uphill battle for Ron Rivera and the Commanders. At least we have an actual name now. But it's gonna be an uphill battle, and it's just because of things like this. Because like this, we talked about this feel like ages ago. I think it was like a year and a half ago when that initial Washington Post report came out about all this like people, in the inner circle sexually harassing people and just all, and you had like what in the weeks before that came out, you had like people were getting shuffled out the door just so they wouldn't be in the organization no more because of the allegations that came out, and it was just a bad look. And this was around the same time that the redskin thing was a problem because social justice and all of that. So just a I mean, this is just a stench that won't go away. Like anytime you need to, like everybody that walk around there, if you walk around Daniel Snyder, you need to be holding your nose because everything stinks up there with whatever they do and whatever they touch. So this is just the latest example, and I'm not 100% caught up on what's going on, but I do. But it seems to me that whatever report was done by the law firm that Washington got to choose somehow, which I always never understood that. What I'm seeing is, well, the NFL is like, well, we can't release the report. The Daniel Snyder has he's going to have to be the one to give the AOK on that one. So we're not going to see the report. If that's the case, if Daniel Snyder has the report, well, we already know what it is. If the report don't come out, then we know it's bad, and we know he should get up on out of there, even though we don't see any signs of that. And if it do come out, then I don't know. I'm probably not gonna believe what's in it because it probably gonna put him in a better light. But my thing is like, I just don't understand how you run an investigation. The team or the personnel or the people who are the subject of that investigation get to pick the law firm that runs it. So they basically work for them. How is that not a conflict of interest? And because to me, it should be the NFL should have chosen whoever to run it, and they should go in there, figure out what's going on, and then after the fact, okay, this is what happened. That's called being transparent. So this clearly a lack of transparency. I think it's a big problem, and it's gotten to the point where now you got Congress, some Congress people in there. They trying to look at what's going on. They trying to get documents from the NFL. They can't even get halfway what they need, and because I believe they're somewhat involved because the NFL is the NFL got a big pull on the culture overall. Right. They got the antitrust thing because the NFL is a monopoly, as all these sports leagues are. So you have that going on, but it's just there's so many levels to this to where I'm like, what are we doing? Like, why does Daniel Snyder get to dictate the information that the public knows, which will likely show that organization is just rotten to the core above Ron Rivera anyway. And that's just the biggest thing. I would like to see, again, where's the protest? Can we get the protest people going? Go march down to Landover or Daniel Snyder's office or his home address, wherever. Go march and just because he does not deserve to own a professional football team because he can't run one effectively. This has been over 20 years. This has been since 1999. I've wrote columns on just the dysfunction and just the recycled head coaches that have been in and out of there over the years. And it's been everybody. It's been Steve Spurrier. It's been Marty Schottenheimer. It's been Mike Shanahan. And then those are the experienced ones. And then you go the complete opposite way and you hire someone with no experience named Jim Zorn, who was a quarterback coach for a week and a half. So but the one constant has always been Daniel Snyder. And it's always something, even until the last week of the regular season. We got a piece of the stadium and the stands and the railings just collapsing, almost sacking Jalen Hurts. So everything's hilarious. I don't understand why Daniel Snyder gets to dictate the report and what we are allowed to know. And look, you hear the term benefit of doubt a lot. I'm of the mindset Daniel Snyder does not deserve the benefit of doubt. There's too much smoke here. It's a full-blown forest fire, and we should just be done with this, dude. I really, and I go back to the point I said Tuesday. The owners should be able to get together and take a vote. And if you got an owner who is that piss poor in the execution of what he's supposed to be doing, he should be able to be voted off the island.
So, to your point, check this out now. When, what was his name? Jerry Richardson, the former owner of the Panthers. He came out, yep. We had those allegations, right? It took the NFL a hot cup of coffee to get him on out of there. He was out of there. True. And rightfully so. Wasn't mad at it. You can't conduct yourself like that as an owner and think you're going to keep your job. But what are we saying now in 2022 when Dan Snyder had just the same level of allegations, if not more, and then you have every piece of evidence you need to get Daniel Snyder out of there. Unless Daniel Snyder has the pictures on Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft and Sam Kroenke, and I know you're looking at me like, well, what they got to do with it? Here's the deal. Now, let's talk about the inner workings of how the NFL works. Roger Goodell is the face of the owners, but it's three owners that really run the shield here, as we call it. You got Jerry Jones. That's the business guy. That's the guy that makes the NFL more profitable as far as merchandising, new teams, relocations, expanding the NFL. All right. You got Robert Kraft is the guy that handles the TV rights for the most part. We know the cash cow for the NFL is those TV rights because some of these stadiums never get filled up. So it ain't the person. It ain't the buying customer per se that really moves it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's part of the process, but it's the TV revenue, it's the merchandising revenue that really moves the needle for the NFL. All right, that's what Robert Kraft is. That's what he do. That's his baby. That's what he do. That's what makes him the second most powerful guy. And then you got Sam Kroenke. Now Sam Kroenke is just that rich guy that people don't know about, but he's just like super rich. And the only reason we know about Sam Kroenke right now is because he's trying to pull the old okey doke on the city of St. Louis because he don't want to pay them their money that he's supposed to pay them when he relocated. But don't worry, we got Jerry Jones on the job. He'll get it done. They'll get their money. Now, the reason I bring up those three guys is because, to your point, the only way you can get Dan Snyder out of that job and get him out for being the owner is you got to have an owners meeting. In that owner meeting, guess what? Three dudes are talking. Four of Dan Snyder because he had to defend himself, but three dudes are talking. If you get them three dudes on the same page and they done with Dan Snyder like they was with Jerry Richardson, he's out of here. He is out of here. That's what it is. It's over and done with. However, maybe it's something we ain't seeing, and that's why I think it's the dirty pictures. It's the emails per se. It's something that's keeping him around where he get away with the shenanigans. Let me go back and reference something you just said about the fans that was on the guardrails trying to take a picture. They trying to get Jalen Hurts' attention, and the rail fell, and that could have been a bad situation. Luckily, it wasn't. Those fans was able to get up and be okay. Do you know we never heard anything as far as a formal apology or take care of medical bills or something of that magnitude? I get it. When you buy tickets to these games,
didn't Jalen Hurts like write a letter to the commissioner or to Dan Snyder or something and like ask for an explanation? We never heard back on that. Right. I don't think we ever heard back.
No, and we probably won't. But we definitely seen that. If not on TV, you seen it on social media. You seen those people fall in Europe. Like it's funny. McDonald's got to put a warning on their coffee cup so don't nobody burn their mouth. Even though we know coffee is hot unless you're getting iced coffee, right? But they still got to put a warning on the cup so you can't sue them. Yeah. However, Dan Snyder can come out here with a Family Dollar fix-up on his rails, and then people fall over, and we don't hear nothing about it, right? No, okay, I see how that's going. A $1 billion franchise, and you can't get strong enough screws to handle what? I think it was like 7 or 8 fans that was all like, Jalen Hurts. And then Jalen Hurts. What if them fans meant harm to Jalen Hurts? What if they meant harm to him, right? See, the good thing was they didn't want any harm. They just wanted a picture with a quarterback. But let's say these fans wanted to those crazed fans that want to hurt the other team quarterback because they think that's gonna better their chance to win in the future. What if those was those type of fans and that rail had broken and they got that close to Jalen Hurts and did something to him? Like, how would we look at it then? We're lucky that didn't happen. I'm glad that didn't happen, but that could have been the case. And yet and still, Jalen Hurts write a letter and say, hey man, what the F? And we get no response. It's stuff like that is where I'm totally on board with you, man. I think this dude then did everything you can do to be fired as an NFL owner. And yet and still, he's not an NFL. I mean, yet and still, he's still an NFL owner. When I've seen other owners do less, and they was out of there before the coffee got cold. So I don't know what it is about Dan Snyder that keep him around, but that little S show that they got going on in Washington, they need to go ahead and hang that up. I think the fans of the Washington Commanders deserve better. I think the other owners deserve a more competent partner, business partner. And quite frankly, I think the franchise deserves a better leader, a better face, someone that gives a rip. I got it. Like, all these dudes might get in trouble. I know Robert Kraft been in trouble. I know Jim Irsay that had his past. I got that. But at the end of the day, it's just the long history of nonsense that's just going on with Washington. at some point, when is enough enough?